Yo, how's it going, guys? Lucas Lee Tyson here from growthcave.com. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about something that I've been hearing from people a lot. Something that I think is stopping a lot of people from getting where they want to be in business. Actually hitting their goals, actually getting the results that they're going after. Because, everyone says that they want to be rich, basically. Everyone says they want to grow this massive business, have all this time, have all this freedom. But when it comes to action and actually doing something, it's a very, very small percentage of people that are actually willing to put in the work. And that's really the topic of this video, is this idea of anxiety and fear when it comes to business decisions, particularly with investing in your business, and really this larger idea of comfort zones. So I can't tell you how many times, I've talked with people on the phone and they ask like, okay, how much it is to work with you guys, and I tell them, and they say like, oh, that's a lot of money. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to make that decision. And to me, like, I understand where they're coming from, because I used to be that person. I used to be the person that would get on sales calls, dance around the topic for hours and hours, not realizing that the decision I knew I had to make was just to say yes to them. I knew that the person I was on the phone with was the right person to work with, the right company, whatever, because I'd already done that research before. And really the only thing that was holding me back was fear. Fear that, what if this doesn't work out? What if I lose this money? And feeling like I was taking this massive risk. And it stuck with me for a while until I started listening to a lot of content from some other, people in the internet marketing space, and hearing that really, these feelings are normal, but they're largely unfounded. And that the risk that you're potentially investing into working with, a mentor or an agency or whoever it is minuscule compared to the risk of the cost of inaction. Staying in the same place, choosing to be complacent and thinking that, maybe another time, or, oh, I'll figure this out later, or like, it's just not right now. It's just this massive phenomenon, of people that invent reasons for themselves on why they can't do something, and I used to be that person. I would say, it's like, oh, can we talk next week? I'm like super busy this week. And I realize now in retrospect, I was basically just lying to myself, and I was lying to the person that I was speaking to on the phone. Because if you really want something, if you know something is a good decision, deep down in your gut, and it feels right, then you're going to do what you have to do to make it happen, regardless of, your finances, regardless of how much time and how busy you are. Because at the end of the day, like, you vote with, in business, you typically vote with your feet and your wallet. You vote with the actions that you choose to go with, and you vote with the investments that you choose to make. And most people, they're scared. They're very quick to change their mind when it comes to what they'll do, but they're very slow when it comes to making investments, choosing who to work with, and like what kind of business they want to grow, which is honestly like the worst way to go about things, just because there's so many people that they have the right skill set, they have a product or service that is in demand, because there's clearly other people in that market that are doing well, but because of their fear, because of their inaction, they're letting people that are not even better than them in business, they're subpar in their skill set, they're letting them make all the money just because they're afraid to get started, they're afraid to get the investment. And really, that's like the biggest thing that I can say is, like, if you're afraid to, take the dive, so to speak, to like make an investment, to like actually make a decision, be like, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on, I'm actually going to take this seriously, just take a look around at some of the other people in your space that are doing well. They're, getting happy clients, happy customers, people are saying good things about them, and realize that they're no different from you. The only difference is that they've chosen to get off of the bench and actually get into the game of business. You can't at all be thinking that you deserve what they have, when clearly you haven't put in the same actions. They've decided to invest in themselves. They've decided to actually put the time and the effort in, and to be blunt, that you haven't yet. And that doesn't, I'm not saying that to like be mean or accusatory, but that is really just at the end of the day what it is. That if someone's getting results and you aren't, it's likely because they're taking risks, they're making decisions, and you haven't yet. So that's really what I wanted to say. And really, when you think about it, like most people think about these feelings of like stress and anxiety as bad things. They're like, oh my God, like I'm so stressed out in my business. You know, it's like I'm worrying so much about this decision. I have no idea what to do. And a lot of people let this fear push them out. You know, they're like, oh, I don't want to be dealing with these feelings, so I'm just going to say no, go back to my normal average life, which is completely counterintuitive, because when you think about growth as a person and even in business, there's never ever going to be a time where you're going to be able to grow without being comfortable. And I would argue that if you look back on some of the experiences and the journey of your life, you'll notice that some of the biggest periods of growth in your life and the greatest feelings of prosperity and just feeling rich and free and all of these great things have come after periods where you were struggling, where you had a lot of these feelings of anxiety and stress and just really having to push to get out of there. Because, that's really what makes being a person, that we thrive in situations where we have good stress that forces us to move forward, stress that forces us to take action, compared to bad stress, which just bogs us down and does bad things to our health. There's differences between good stress and good anxiety, and bad stress and bad anxiety, and really which feelings you get come down to the decisions that you make. So I would really advise you to anytime that you're like feeling like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to make this decision, I don't know if this is the right choice, really ask yourself, like, am I seriously like not considering this for like a valid reason, or am I just trying to run away from those bad feelings of fear and anxiety and feeling like, okay, I might have to push myself for a little bit to get to that, that higher point. I'm speaking in very high level terms just because I want this to be applicable. But really, the big idea that I kind of wanted to share is that growth comes when you take big steps outside of your comfort zone. If you've never invested a large amount into your business, then guess what? You're going to grow the fastest when you actually do invest a large amount into your business, which is why I laugh when I'm speaking to prospects on the phone and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna like do some Udemy courses, or I'm gonna like hire like a VA in the Philippines or something like that. And I'm like, even if you do those things, I can guarantee you're not going to grow your business to levels you want, just because you're taking tiny actions. It's just not going to happen when you're investing. When you think about your business as investing, like, okay, I'm only going to invest $5 here and $10 here, and maybe 50 to 100 here. It's just not going to happen. You can't expect to make a lot of money when you're making decisions like that. And it just completely breaks your paradigm of how you view the world. So that's really what I had to say. Just really take a good hard look at yourself. Look at the things you're choosing to invest your time and your money in, and really think, like, is this actually getting me results, or is this just something I'm doing to like feel good about myself and try and feel productive and try to feel like I'm making progress, when I know those bigger investments, those bigger decisions are the ones I actually need to be making. And I say this because I've been the exact same way. I can't tell you how much time and money I wasted on just like tiny things that really didn't move the needle for me. And there's this saying that goes, it's something like broke people pay twice, or something along those lines. And then the more eloquent Charlie Munger quote that a good business at a fair price is better than a fair business at a good price. When it comes to business decisions and when it comes to growth, you don't want to be shopping on price, because oftentimes the thing that's cheaper or seems like good value is just going to be the thing that you buy. And you're like, yeah, okay. And then you eventually have to buy the more expensive thing. Like I said, broke people pay twice, and you don't want to be paying twice. It's just a waste of time and a waste of money. So those are really the thoughts I had. Let me know your thoughts below. Let me know if you've ever had periods like this where you've kind of deliberated on larger business decisions and ultimately found that when you did make that decision, you're like, why did I not do this sooner? Like, why did I waste so much time just beating around the bush, just trying to convince myself that I could get by, trying to be cheap, because I've definitely had those periods, like I said. So definitely let me know, definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments, what other kinds of videos you'd like to see. But yeah, this has been Lucas. Hope you have a great rest of your day.